Hello, it's Anna Pacheco, Santa Fe 101.com. My guest today is Warren Malkerson, and he's a gallery owner out in Karazozo. Warren, do I have your permission to record this interview?
You sure do, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, excellent. Well, I had a great interview last week with Gwendolyn Rogers, who is the director of the Chamber of Commerce down in Karazozo.
Yes.
And she was telling me, and I had no idea, she was telling me that Karazozo is really becoming an artist colony. I think she said there were 42 resident artists there. And then of course she mentioned you because you've had some galleries there for quite some time. So I was hoping that you could shed some light for my viewers about what's going on in Carrizozo, because of course Santa Fe is an art mecca, but it's great to let people know that there are other parts of New Mexico that are doing the same thing. So tell me a little bit about how you began with your galleries and let us know.
Sounds great. Sounds great. You want me to just start in on a gallery?
Yeah, so you were explaining to me before I hit the record button, your wife has a gallery and then you have a photography gallery. So
right.
which
it's breaking up a little bit, so I'll just start talking. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. My wife's, it really all started, the long story short is that Joan and I met at Colorado College many years ago, and graduated from there in '68. We got married, and I went on to business school and started and was in the corporate world for about 35 years. And then when I retired in 2004, I said, Joan, it is your turn to be the lead dog, so to speak. And what would you like to do? And she said, I'd like to find a small community in the Southwest and make a difference in the world of art. So I said, okay, we are all in.
And so is Joan an artist?
Pardon?
Is she an artist? Your wife?
Yeah, she's an artist. She is an artist. She is a gallerist owning the gallery, and she also runs a artist in residence program. We have about, she and another artist out of Karazozo team up together, and we supply 2 buildings for it. And we have about 20 artists a year there, and they stay for about a month at a time. And it's really been great for the community because normally they're younger artists than we are, than sort of the older artists that are in Karazozo. And it provides a whole new perspective and excitement. And we try to get them from out of state, and we've had some from out of the country even. And they, because we love to bring people into New Mexico so they can see the brilliance, the land of enchantment, and all the activity that goes on in the art world in New Mexico. So
let's talk about that then just for a moment. So do you advertise this? How do people know that you're doing this? And you said it lasts about a month. So what happens during the time that they are in Carrizozo? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We used to advertise it, but most of it now goes word of mouth. It's unbelievable the number of applicants that we get, and they've heard from so-and-so or this person or that person. We think there's a whole community of artists and residents out there in the world, and they draw on each other, they meet each other, they share experiences together, and they almost end up advertising Karazozo as a cool artist and resident place to be. What they love about Karazozo is that it's a walkable town. Karazozo just has 700 people in it, so it's not like street upon street upon street upon street to get someplace. I mean, they are where we house them is right in the middle of town and right in the middle of the artist community. And so they walk to the store, they walk to the post office, they walk to a restaurant, they walk everywhere type thing.
And then, so is your wife teaching classes, her and her colleague, or what happens during this time period?
Okay, they come in and they can be painters or sculptors or ceramicists or writing a book or all kinds of different things. We show them where they're staying, and And then historically, we've asked them to either get involved with the school, maybe teach a class or demonstrate something like that. Or, and then towards the end of their month there, some of them stay only 2 weeks, but we prefer the month. We ask them to put on a show for the community, for the artist community, or for Karazozo, but it's pretty much the artist community that shows up. And then they talk about what they've done for the month and working on this, and they got this over here, that over there. And they, Karazozo is so cool because they, they can go a little bit south and get to, well, they got Valley of Fires to go out to, they've got ranches to go out to, they've got mountains to go up into, they've got the petroglyphs just south of us. So they can wander around and see lots of really interesting things that they bring back into their art.
And let me ask you, is there a fee for this artist and resident program? And they're not charge anything? And do they do you provide free room and board, or what? How does that all work out?
We provide the space, free space. They're responsible for their own food. But basically that's it.
But when you say space, place where they stay.
Yeah, place where they stay.
Okay.
And an artist studio, and a studio that goes studio space, additional studio space that goes.
Wow. And so what time of year do you hold this artist in residence program?
We traditionally have it run November through April. So that, because that overlaps the time that Joan and I are there in town with them. We had a couple in the summer when we aren't there, and it just is not as effective, and it's not as much fun for us, to be quite frank. And so we generally have them the 6 months during the 6 month time period over the winter.
So then, so if you're there for 6 months, you have 6 monthly artist in residence programs. So there's just different people each time.
We have two different places, so we can have we usually have 2 different artists there at the same time, and sometimes they can come with some of them come with their spouse, some come with part of their family. That type of thing is permitted, and we try to have 6 sort of separate artist sessions in each of our 2 buildings, so that by the time so that's 12 units, call it 12 units. Some of them only come for 2 weeks, so that lets us have additional people there. And then, as I said, some of them bring other 2 or 3 artists come at the same time.
And what would be the average amount? So every year that you do this, do 100 artists participate, or what is like kind of like an approximate number?
I would say I'd say the average is 15 to 20. 15
okay, so it's not that many. If somebody were watching this interview right now and they were interested, would they be able to find this information on your website?
On Gallery 408 website.
Okay, yes. Good. That'll be posted. So then I just wanted to find out about that because we have a lot to talk about before. But I'm just curious, what was your corporate career for 35 years?
I was in large corporate General Mills, Pillsbury, PepsiCo, LL Bean, and I was charge of worldwide sourcing for some of them. At LL Bean, I was in charge of all product development, all the product that LL Bean has in their catalogs and stuff like that. I was in charge of that, and I worked for KFC, and which was part of PepsiCo, and that was worldwide procurement. I traveled all over the world, helping procure the goods for KFC. I'm as my son called me, the largest chicken buyer in the entire world.
Wow. Well, so you certainly have paid your dues in terms of corporate America. So good for you. I'm so happy that you're able to live your wife's dream now in art. So tell me about the 2 galleries in Carrizozo and how you market them. And just basically, again, I want to show our viewers, like, would Karazozo be a place for them would it be a viable place for them to think about relocating to, especially if they're artists?
Yes. Well, Joan's Gallery opened in 2005. So Malkerson Gallery 408, it's called, opened in 2005. So it's been going 16 years. And when it opened, as you were saying, you talked with Gwen Rogers the other day, there were just 12 artists that called Karazozo home. And now we are actually, Gwen's a little short. I think we're up over 50 artists now that call Karazozo home. And so it's been building and building and building that entire time. And we're located on our two galleries are located on 12th Street, what's called historic 12th Street, which was one of the main streets in town, just off of Highway 54, which runs through town. And we opened in 2005, and nobody knew we were there. And people driving up and down Highway 54 and 380, and which is the crossroads. And we said, well, we've got to get something that makes people know traveling through that there's something different, something new in town. And you know, we saw all the the Longhorns to Fort Worth and the cows of Chicago and et cetera, et cetera. And we found some old photos of, well, and the painted ponies of northern New Mexico was a big one. And we found some old photos of the street, the dusty streets of Karazozo back in the olden days. And here was a string of burros. We just saw burros going up and down the street all the time. We said, that's it, we're gonna get burros. So we found a vendor that would sell us what we call blank burros. They're about 80 pounds. They're cast aluminum. And we brought them in. We had local artists paint them, and we started to put them up on top of the buildings. We started putting in front of the stores and everything like that. And of course, we had them for sale. And we have now sold probably over 500 of those burros. And people then started knowing that something new is going on in Karazozo. So they started coming down our street, stopped in Joan's Gallery. And Joan's Gallery is a fine art gallery. There's beautiful paintings there, some that she's done herself, as well as other local artists. There's pottery, there's jewelry, we have a sculpture garden attached to the gallery. A lot of our burros are out in the sculpture garden, live out in the sculpture garden with some beautiful trees and stuff like that. And it's really been a wonderful success. And it's been and it's become like a mecca of people traveling through. And TripAdvisor and a bunch of other places like that have us on it. And so when people click on the Chamber of Commerce for Karazozo, or they click on traveling through Karazozo, the gallery does come up.
And you're very close to Karazozo, correct?
It's in terms of advertising and stuff like that. We've been in a number of different publications and things like that. But overall, over time, we have so many people traveling through that Karazozo that we get a fair number of people. And we even get people that travel. We always ask people where they're from, where they're going to, because people always, originally, well, we're from so-and-so and we're going to so-and-so. And this, a couple of years ago, a couple said, well, we're from Santa Fe, and from here, we're going back to Santa Fe. And we said, well, wait a second. You're coming all the way from Santa Fe down to Carrizozo to see our gallery and then go back? They said, yep, that's it. You got up this morning and said, that's what you were going to do, and went back. Yep. We went, we love you. God loves you. I mean, you're a first of a miracle kind that we're coming, that driving just destination, coming to see the gallery.
Let's talk about Ruidoso. That's a big market for you, and it's not far away.
And then our other gallery across the street is, yes, it isn't far away. It's just 30 minutes away up into the mountains, and it's probably our primary market, and we do advertising in Ruidoso because there are a lot of second homeowners there. And as we look at it, we go, you have your primary home where you have a lot of things of your family and all the rest of that kind of stuff, and you're from, and there are a lot of Texans up there, and but now you got your second home, and obviously you bought it in New Mexico because you love New Mexico. So here is art and photography and everything else from New Mexico to decorate your walls or your house or put a burro in your front yard or whatever. So they are our #1 market.
Okay, good. And so tell me about the photography gallery. Are you a photographer?
Okay. And then, yeah, the photography gallery across the street, we opened about 7 years ago. And as I indicated, it's the largest photography gallery in the state of New Mexico. We have the work of over 35 different photographers there. They're all from New Mexico. We have over 1,000 prints in there, and all the prints in there are taken in New Mexico, making it basically New Mexico true. And because who's going to want to come into Karazozo, come into a photo gallery and be interested in a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge, for heaven's sakes? I mean, we're in the middle of the land of enchantment and all the beautiful scenery, all the beautiful sunrises and sunsets and people and animals and everything else, like rock formations and everything else like that. It's really a gorgeous gallery with beautiful, beautiful photography. Plus, we are the exclusive, New Mexico Magazine has a photo contest every year. And this will be our 7th year in a row of exclusively hosting the winners of the New Mexico Magazine photo contest. So all those pictures are in our gallery, framed or in prints ready for sale. And we get a lot of people come into the gallery saying, I want to see the New Mexico Magazine photo contest winners.
And so you were just mentioning frames. So your gallery will actually frame them and ship them out, and it's a full service gallery in that sense.
And then downstairs also. I didn't get that. I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying that your gallery, you have a full service gallery in the sense that if somebody buys the photos, you'll have them framed and you then ship them out.
Yes, we will ship them out. Absolutely. And we are not a framing gallery. I mean, if somebody has to get something framed, we can get it done, but we don't have a framing operation in our gallery.
Okay. And are you a photographer, sir?
But what we do have downstairs in the gallery, which is really fun, is called the Karazozo Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And people cannot believe it when they come into it. But we have 2 rooms downstairs, the old boiler room and the old coal room, because this building was built in 1915 and 1916. So it's really a wonderful, wonderful old building. But this gentleman by the name of James Lane grew up in San Francisco, went to all at Fillmore West, went to all the shows as he was a little kid and through grade school, junior high, high school. And then in college, he majored in mechanical engineering and he became a light and sound guy. And he traveled with bands and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And he had all of this historical paraphernalia that he didn't know what to do with. And so he came and asked us if we wanted to create a rock and roll museum. And we said, well, sure. And so he brought all this stuff, and people cannot believe the amount of memorabilia that is part of this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's open when the photo gallery's open. We're open Friday, Saturday, and Sundays at this point in time. But James Lane himself is there on Saturday mornings if people want a personal tour of all the signed records, signed hats, signed guitars, of all the great singers. I mean, bands. It's just amazing.
Wow, I had no
right
idea.
Here in Little Karazozo.
I like that. So we're at the end of the interview.
And people have said, and
what I was saying, sir, is we're at the end of the interview. Is there, so basically from listening to you now, I'm assuming that if creative types are thinking of
Yes.
a new place to live, that Karazozo could be an option. You can make a go of it there, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, we're over the last couple of years, we've seen a number of, we probably have had, oh, I'm going to say 20 to 25 new families in the last year, year and a half, and there's open space for them to build their own house. There's some older homes to purchase. It's a very quaint town, and it's the county seat. So for Lincoln County, so it has some stability to the town, and it's a very, very friendly town. Wonderful town.
Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Malkerson, for doing the interview. And again, when people are in the Karazozo area, they can visit Gallery 408, correct?
Absolutely. And I thank you very much, Anna.
Thanks so much.